Whoa, he's not going to get far on that tire. Hello, David here, and the project for today is repairing a bicycle inner tube on my grandson's bicycle. I haven't fixed a bicycle inner tube in over 55 years, so it's going to be kind of new to me. I'm sure the technology has changed. Back when I was a kid and I used to do it, we used to have this stamp sheet metal frame that we used to clamp onto the tube, and we put a match to it, and it would flare up and smoke and flame, and it was quite dramatic. But that would vulcanize the patch to the tube. I'm pretty sure they don't do that anymore. I'm sure they have exotic chemicals that will do the trick, and you sniff it, you'll probably go into La La Land, I suppose. But anyway, let's get started. I'm going to turn the bicycle upside down and remove the wheel so that I can work on it. So I did pump up the tires with air to 40 pounds, and the next day it was flat. So I know there's a leak. And you got to pry the tire off of the rim, and if you use a screwdriver, the edges of the tip of the screwdriver are too sharp, and you're going to put another hole in your inner tube. So I like to use pliers because the handles are round. I get in there and pry the tube off. Get a second one in there. And then slide it down. You might have to go to the opposite end and push the bead into the center of the rim to give you more clearance. You might need an assistant to help you. Kind of awkward having the other handle get caught in the spokes. Yeah, it's a coming. And you only have to take one end of the tire off. You don't have to take the tire completely off of the rim. Just want to get one end off so you can slide the inner tube out. There we go. Got the whole thing off. Slide out the inner tube. Might have to take the cap off to get the valve end of the tube out of the hole in the rim. Whoops, sorry. Gonna have to reach in there and pull that valve out. There we go, I got it. There we go, check it for leaks. The tube is always well marked with the size. This is 16 by 1.75. I don't know what the /2.125 means. I see there's a patch on here already. It could be leaking at that patch. This looks like a reinforcement so that the rim doesn't tear the valve. Okay, I'm going to pump it up, check for some leaks. I'm seeing some bubbles. That's where she's leaking. Check the valve out. Valve's leaking too. It's leaking at the valve. It's leaking right there at this patch. Yeah, it's leaking from underneath this patch. So it looks like somebody tried to repair this valve by patching it. Let me take that patch off. I'm going to consider this inner tube dead. I don't think there's any way you can patch the spot where the valve intersects with the tube. I thought I could get the patch off. I couldn't pull the patch off. It's stuck on pretty hard. Hey, whoever invented the wheel is a genius. Just got a delivery. New inner tube. Made by Bell. Not a sponsor. Made in China. Where else? Let's see if it matches up with the old inner tube. It does say 16 inches. Found out what this dimension means, the 1.75 to 2.25. That means it fits tire width of 1 3/4 to 2 1/4 inches. Here's the new tube. Gotta cut that packaging open. Don't cut the tube. We're gonna have to order another one. Yeah, that's about the same size. Now, the way I was taught to replace inner tubes many decades ago was to put baby powder or talcum powder on the tube, and that kind of gives it a little lubricity, so the tube moves around inside the tire. And I believe the theory is that you won't get a kink or a wrinkle in the inner tube, because a kink or a wrinkle is bad. I believe that could cause a puncture in the inner tube. I'm not sure. This stuff sure feels funny. You know, I better pressure test this. Make sure this isn't leaking. Okay, I tested it. There's no leaks. One handy tool that you should have, which you don't need, because you could deflate the valve just by pressing something in on that Trader valve. It's one of these tools. You can make up from a long tire stem or a long tire valve for an automobile, and then get one of these caps that has a tool on the end. Just insert it in the valve. You can remove the valve. Just don't lose it. Kind of a small piece. See, there you go. Learn something new every day. Put it back in so we don't lose it. Okay, I'm going to put this back in the tire. Start with the valve end because we want the valve end to go straight. We don't want it crooked. Okay, make sure you don't twist the tube. Twisting is bad. If you have to, take it out again. I'll get it in and then I'll straighten it up at the valve. Come on, I see you in there. There's no use hiding. There we go. Put the cap on that so it doesn't pop out again. Keeping this straight is real important while we're putting the tire on. Remember, never use screwdrivers. I find wrench handles always work great because they have broad, sweeping curves on the ends of the handles. Start at the valve end. So you keep that one wrench in at the end, kind of holds everything down, then work your way around. Of course, it gets harder when you get near the end. Might want to push the bead down so it gets in the center of the wheel, because that's the low point or the high point. You can actually do the rest by hand. They pop right in. Go around the wheel and bounce it around. It'll eliminate any wrinkles that might be in there. Once again, make sure that your valve is straight. Okay, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to fill it partially, and then I'm going to expel all the air again to eliminate any kinks or wrinkles. Gotta make sure I catch that. Pull out on the valve stem, push on the air hose. Okay, still pretty soft. Bounce it around again. Okay, still bouncing it around to try to remove any wrinkles. Remember, I'm using 55-year-old technology, so I don't know if the procedures have changed. Okay, let's expel the air. Bounce it around some more. I'm sure I'll get a lot of comments from people telling me I'm doing it wrong. Put the valve stem back in. Okay. Hold the valve up while I put the air hose on it. Pull out on that valve stem. Add some air. See what the proper inflation is. Inflate to 35 psi. I don't know if you can see that, but that's what it says. I have a tire gauge especially for bicycles. kPa must be kilograms. The black scale is pounds. Let's see where we're at here. It's not registering. Let's put some more on there. Yeah, it's right around 35. Okay, let's put the wheel back on. The outer washer has a little nib on the end. Can you see that? That little shoulder goes into the hole on the fork. Okay, that one's in, the other side's in. Make sure it's tight so the wheel doesn't fall off. That one's good. While we're at it, let's check the inflation on the rear tire. Now that tube is not in straight. See if I can straighten that out. Try to deflate this. Just break the bead. Let's rotate it. Oh yeah, look at that. It's straight now. Let's get some air in there. While I was waiting for the tube to come in, I lubricated the chain because that was all rusty. Of course it's not going to hold air. You got to put the Schrader valve back in. About 37. I'm going to call that good. Woohoo! We are finished. I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more great videos from David GPO.